Wondering, would you be able to speak out? Like what I've been seeing is we have a lot of problems, and I know I'm from Maplewood, but I feel the same problems really relate to us as well as to you. And as far as taxes go, we are all from Ramsey County anyway. So the reality is that when they're looking for funding, if they don't find it from you, they're going to find it from the other areas of the county. Just like when they were talking about the football stadium that they were going to bring out to Arden Hills. So my problem is right now, I haven't really heard any of these issues debated in open court, you might say, in concert where people have heard about them because of, it seems like they all of a sudden put the station in St. Paul where it's at the end of the light rail stations. And if you're understanding anything about anything with transit, you want to have your transit service area in your most active spot, which would have been downtown Minneapolis. It seems like what we have is we have a situation where a lot of the money is being awarded to the city, so there is no debates. It's just like what happened with the Saints Stadium. I don't remember one time I could go down and speak on any of these issues beforehand. And when I did try to present issues, it was always mute because, we've already got the money, it's already done. And I didn't even realize they were building that station down in downtown St. Paul. And basically that's going to take more parking up in Lower Town. And I've been talking to people down there, they're very upset about their parking as well because they're saying if the Saints don't build in some parking down there, basically the first thing that's going to go is the farmer's market, which is something I said on the show beforehand, because they said, you have a Saints game, you're also going to be having trains and buses all coming into Union Depot, and where are all those people going to be able to pick up their riders from? Where are they going to park? So you're going to have a baseball game where you're going to want to tailgate, and there's no place to tailgate down there. And when you start taking a look at the lack of space, it really is pushing the issue that right now we just don't have any place downtown there, especially the way we're developing it. So it'd be nice to have those type of debates brought out where they could be heard and could be actually analyzed.
Sounds like we have a phone call. Caller, are you with us? Question or comment?
Yes, Mr. Holden, good luck to you in the campaign for mayor. I was just wondering, with all the information that's going on, all the back and forth, it almost seems like there's a monopoly going on in Minneapolis where they're drawing in all of this, the ballparks and all that. I'm wondering how you would work with the mayor of Minneapolis to sort of, put St. Paul back in the picture as far as, bringing a little bit more to that city.
The mayor of Minneapolis, he was asking how you'd work with him.
Yeah, well, thank you for the question. And again, I appreciate your call. I think that St. Paul and Minneapolis, we're together. It's the Twin Cities. We need to work together. And, there's definitely, I think we all know that there's been a disparity between the volume of dollars that are being spent in each of the two cities. I think St. Paul needs to be looked at and given a little bit more than they have been in the past, and we're going to do that. We will find a way to make sure that the city is listened to and recognized. I actually have a couple different ideas, and I don't know if it would ever come to be, but I know St. Paul has the hockey team, the Wild. I was just thinking, there was the big issue between the Target Center and the downtown Timberwolves, and I was thinking that it could be a possibility where maybe St. Paul would get 2 sports teams and Minneapolis would get 2. Minneapolis would get the baseball and the football stadium, which they have coming, the Vikings, and then we would get the Timberwolves, Glenn Taylor, and maybe we could bring over have the hockey. So we could split it up and do something like that. I think we have to listen. I think we have to work together, and the bottom line is we have to have an open mind and think outside of the box on all different kinds of issues. And that's what I want to do as mayor. I want to listen to the people, and that's what I'm all about.
He's hung up. Well, that brings up a good point, because during the debate over the football stadium, there was talk of creating a commission, whatever you want to call it, to look at putting Target Center and XL Center under one authority. The idea being that right now, if I'm a promoter, I'm some sort of promoter, a concert promoter, you got Target Center over here and you got XL. I could play the two off with each other
Sure.
and get the best deal for me. And you say, well, I got the business, but at the end of the day, you end up losing money on the deal. What are your thoughts on that? I know there was legislation in the House. I can't recall the bill number offhand, but there was legislation in the House, or I believe it was the Senate, where they would actually create an authority over the XL and the Target Center. When you talk about maybe having the Timberwolves come to St. Paul.
Well, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that there was need for upgrades and whatnot that were necessary for the, I believe, downtown Minneapolis, the Target Center. And
those were approved.
And the needs weren't really necessary here because we've got a newer facility. I think if you were able to divide these teams up and somehow make that happen, it would be a great thing. Maybe St. Paul does. They cater to two of the teams, and then Minneapolis caters to two of the teams. The concerts, we've got... we've got the facilities now for the concerts. Maybe because Minneapolis has a lot of other things going that the St. Paul location doesn't, maybe we want to try and attract the concerts at our facilities here in St. Paul. We need to do that, and I think it's important because our city, as the capital city, needs to thrive, and we need to bring the business into St. Paul, and that's for sure.
But I guess